Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, y'all. Get on in here, get on in here, all right? Kick off your shoes, relax your feet. It's time for us to get back into the Power Universe. This is my review recap for Power Book 3, okay? Raising Kanan, Season 2, Episode 1. The more things change, baby, all right? And so, I'm a hustler, baby. Okay. Get money, make money, make money. That's the only parts I remember, y'all. Okay. My head, I got to get back in the game. I got to learn the words again. I still got Tommy Book 4 stuck in my head. But nonetheless, we start with this episode, right? Hearing Kanan narrate, he always got to break it down and tell us what's going on. And he's letting us know, people from the hood, they don't get to go on vacations, right? We ain't doing no vacations. We ain't going away. We ain't got no summer homes. Ain't no sick days. Ain't no vacation days. And sure as hell ain't no chilling on the beach. But where do we find young Kanan at? Sitting on the beach, right? And then Rock comes over to him and she says, your Aunt Deborah told me I would find you out here, right? And she started telling him how her and her brothers used to chill out there in the summers. This was their favorite spot. And, she had a little crush going on, some guy named Rodney something. And all the girls apparently liked Ronnie, all right? They all thought they was the only one, but he had about 7 chicks. And, that's how y'all young boys do. But she was like, time to stop looking around at the scenery and enjoying yourself and time for us to get back home, all right? It's time to go, baby. And he basically gets up and gives her a hug. And, they bringing him back, right? Then we see, old Detective Howard, baby. Detective Howard is up and at him, all right? And, the nurse is telling him, you've been here 3 months. You came a long way. You doing good. Getting discharged. He like, I ain't leaving here without my damn ring. It came in here on my finger, and it's going to be on my finger when I leave up out of here. And she's telling him, well, listen, maybe a family member took it. He's like, I ain't got no damn family, girl. Okay? Nobody ain't coming checking for Detective Howard or no damn ring. Okay? So either one of y'all probably stole it or whatever. But nonetheless, he's looking for that. And we seeing that Detective Burke is still around on a damn mission. Okay? She over here questioning the doctor, does he believe that Detective Howard really, has memory loss? And he's like, why wouldn't I? He was like, the brain is a mysterious machine. It represses trauma, unpleasant memories to protect itself or whatever the case may be. That's not uncommon. And he was like, what reason would he have to lie? And so, of course, she doesn't say nothing when he says that. And he was like, I think the real story you're missing here is that the memory loss is really trivial because he's a medical marvel. And she's like, yes, 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 I know. She was like, listen, come to find out, Detective Howard don't even need Kanan for that surgery no more, baby, because he got a bone marrow transplant, right? He had somebody who donated a bone marrow to him in the process of him being in here healing from the daggone gunshot wounds, okay? And so he was like, when he came in here, nobody would have thought he would have made it. He had a hole in his chest. He had cancer in his blood. His lungs was in, all messed up. Now he was leaving in remission. This is a daggone miracle that we see in here. So I said, uh-oh. I don't think Rock gonna be looking at it that way. So, everybody's clapping for him when they bringing him out in the wheelchair, whatever the case may be, cheering him on. And Detective Burke is next to him clapping and he looking at her like, yeah, I know you full of it. All right, cut it out. But whatever, as they stroll him through the hall and he just waving, to everybody or whatever. So, we see that Kanan's little cousins is actually saying, like, one is saying, man, listen, as soon as I get old enough, I'm going to be up out of here. I'm coming to New York. The other little brother's like, nah, I'd rather stay here. And he's asking Kanan how it is. And, they asking him if he's going to come back next summer. And the one cousin is like, why would he want to come back here? Who want to be here? And Kanan was actually like, listen, I actually was enjoying myself, to be honest. Y'all not missing nothing in New York. And the little brother says, see, Kanan saying we ain't missing nothing. And he's from New York. So that made me laugh. That brought back memories because I know when I went down and visit cousins in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever have you, everybody always thought New York was the big thing. So they wanted to come to New York. And if you was from New York, it was like, oh, you from New York? But, you can relax and have fun down there too. And Kanan was saying like, yo, I would rather stay here and be playing these games with y'all. And the brother was telling the other brother, like, mom ain't gonna let you do that. He was like, man, when I get to that age, it's gonna be my decision. I could do whatever I want to do. And Kanan was like, nah, he got a point there, because like I said, if it was up to him and it was his decision, he would be probably staying here with them. But Rock done came through to pick him up, so now he gotta go. And we have her and Deborah talking in the kitchen, and she's telling her, oh, I was telling Kanan about the, boy we used to have the crush on back in the days. And she was saying how, yeah, everybody liked him, and his six pack had a six pack. And she's saying to her, like I said on the phone, girl, Kanan is always welcome here. You don't have to take him back. He could stay here with me. I could set him up with a high school here and all of that good stuff. But Raquel is like, he needs to be with me, okay? It's time for him to come home. Like, I appreciate, what you did for him, but where I go is where he go. And so she said, well, I'm just saying, you told me about all the craziness that you had to, get him away from. His things quiet back there, right? And she says, yeah, it was just some summertime bullshit, some knuckleheads in the street. You know how it is. She was like, but it's all good now. So then Deborah's telling her she talked to her mom talked about moving them down here before Marvin went to high school and before things happened between her mom and dad. And then, Kanan came in the kitchen, so she had to cut the conversation off. But I'm curious to know what happened with mom and dad, all right, y'all? Inquiring minds want to know. So basically, Deborah gives Kanan a hug and was like, you are always welcome here. And of course, tell Jukebox that, we miss her and we would like to see her too, and she's welcome here too. And Kanan tells her, I loved being here, and Deborah kind of gives Rock a look like, see, he was loving it here, girl. Why would you take him away from here? And so then we seeing, old Raggedy behind Jessica arguing with, Lou about Famous, right? Saying that he got to step up and he's not doing enough for him. He's supposed to be putting more stuff out. It's her job to push her brother's career. And he was like, yeah, well, you Famous, manager all the time, but when are you going to be my girl? She's talking about something, I could be both. And he was like, well, you ain't been doing a damn good job of it lately, And he was like, you don't get, two bites out of an apple. And so she says that he didn't market it right. And he was like, man, get the hell out of here. He was like, all he do is sit around and get high. And he don't care about anything anymore. He was like, if he don't care, why the hell should I care? How the hell I'm supposed to care more than he do? I agree. He was basically like, if he want this, he got to show it and he got to work for it. And he was like, go ahead and take care of him, because you sure as hell ain't taking care of me. And he go ahead and jump in the ride, and she's like, where the hell you going? And she gonna talk about something, you wonder why we always fight. And he was like, no, I don't, and drove off and left her ass standing there, right? Lou over it. And so in the process of him driving off, he basically gets to, a stop. And there's a chick, that's over here singing or whatever. So he's trying to get her attention, honking the horn. I guess he like what he hear. And she ain't paying him no mind. And he basically drives up, cuts her off. And is, of course, she like, what the hell you doing? And telling him she got mace and all of that. And he was like, yo, who's that singing? She's like, me. He was like, well, my name is Lou Thomas. That's my beat that you was singing over. You ever hear Bulletproof Records? He trying to give her his card or whatever the case may be. Like, come through, come see me if you want to get down with this. And she was like, listen, don't ever do no shit like that. And he telling her that she's really dope. And she's like, can I go now? He like, I look forward to hearing from you. So I'm like, yeah, that was a little extreme. But okay, Lou. So, we have Jukebox. She's here with this. I guess she done made a daggone, another song or whatever called It Hurts So Much, a little cassette tape that she got. And she's leaving it at the grave, of course, for, Nicole. And I'm like, poor Juke, she still is in mourning. And you can see that it's like, some old flowers there. I don't know if that came from her or her parents or whatever. But you can see she's pretty much still been coming back there on the regular to visit Nicole. And she's leaving her that. So, We see him Rock and Kanan, basically driving back, and Kanan is singing, you ever shoot somebody, and miss. He's basically like, that's what I did, okay? And, of course, as they're coming back, Rock lets him know, like, Detective Howard is up and at him, baby, but he don't remember nothing, right? He got amnesia or some shit, right? Brain all twisted up. And she was like, I got people at the hospital who says he could barely remember his own name, so you good. I wouldn't be bringing you home otherwise. And she was like, look, if he remembered anything, the police would be out there looking, so he don't remember nothing. And Kanan was like, well, what if he see me and then he remembers, Ma? And she talking about that ship has already sailed. It's too late, right? Nobody wouldn't believe him if he opened his mouth now because it's too long. I said, I don't know about all that, Rock, but I think he gonna have a different idea, okay, for you. But nonetheless, she tells him, I got you, right? I always got you, okay? Because, of course, Kanan is worrying now. And I'm like, So we see, Mr. Marvin outside, right? Tony done jumped around and left, right? She done ran up out of here, so it ain't no case. And, but he tells Marvin they are offering 100 hours of community service that's court mandated, either substance abuse division or anger management, right? And Marvin is like, well, if they ain't got no case, then why the hell I gotta do damn 100 hours or anything? He was like, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be where I have to do anything. He said, listen, they still got you on the possession charges, so you still gotta do what you gotta do. He was like, oh, well, reefer? Yeah, telling you it shouldn't be a crime. He said, well, it is, all right? And so he was like, look, I could probably work it out. Well, all you gotta do is go and sign in for a session and then you leave. He says, well, put me down for the anger management bullshit. I say, yo, he's a trip. So now Detective Burke brings Detective Howard home, She just still want to be phony and want to be over here looking around the damn apartment. But, of course, acting like she want to be such the big help. She always got to go the extra mile, And so she's over here, we need some light in here and opening up all the blinds. And, of course, those bills were still coming and stacking up, all right, after that 3 months. They don't give a damn whether you in the hospital shot up or not. So he was like, Lord, I'm not looking forward to looking through all these bills. And she notices a folder, of course, that has Kanan's name on it that's in Detective's Burst. I don't know if that was Detective Howard. I don't know if that was his bedroom or what, but it was up on a dresser. And of course she peeped that, and so she basically, of course, is still trying to ask him questions. And he was like, look, I thought I was dead, Burke, no joke. When you have that type of experience, it changes you. He was like, for a minute there in the hospital, I felt myself leave my body. I thought it was over, trust me. But I wasn't dead at all. I was reborn. So now I'm a changed man. I'm giving a second shot and all that good shit. And so, I'm going to do what I got to do and I'm going to make it right this time. I'm going to be the best version of myself. He laying it on heavy. And so she's basically like, okay. So she said, well, Unique has, they have accounts for him. He wasn't there at the park. And, Howard is like, I never said that. She said, yeah, but all the evidence pointed at him. So, of course, that's what we had to go with. And he's like, well, I don't remember what happened that night. So you talking to the wrong guy, So she was like, Howard, whoever shot you is still out there, as if he don't know that. And she's like, homicides doesn't, have any suspects at all right now. And so he basically was like, she tells him, I'm concerned about that and you should be concerned about that too. And he tells her that he's not concerned about shit he can't control. So I said, But, he talking about, like the song says, I think very deeply, and appreciate you picking me up and all of that good stuff. But I need to go ahead and get some rest. So she was like, okay. And she leaves. And, he peeking out the window at her to make sure her ass is up out of here because Burke be doing too much. So we seeing that they throwing all these, the cops is out, the blocks is hot. All right. They throwing all these guys up against the wall as Kanan and Rock is passing by. And she basically was like, I keep telling them that these corners is dead. Nothing is happening there. And so she begins, to bring Kanan in and show him how much things changed, how the game, is different now. They the only ones in town that's doing it. They got shut on lock, okay? She was like, it's a beautiful thing to see because, 5-0 basically can't see them, but they could see the cops coming from miles away or whatever the case may be, the way they have it set up now. And she's showing him the guys up on the roof and all of that different kind of stuff, and how they just, took over everything, right? And she's telling him his uncles is going to be crazy happy to see him. So when they come up in the building or whatever, oh Lord, y'all, some of this is just horrible to see, because you have the tenants downstairs, right? And they are literally moving out the way for Rock and Kanan to be able to get to the elevator first, even though they've been waiting there for however long for the elevator to come, right? And then when she get in the elevator and take him up, and Kanan is walking and looking and just observing the scenery or whatever behind her, you literally seeing people with their babies, a lady with a big ass stomach that's coming there to get that rock. And that was real, baby. I mean, it's just people all lined up. They got a freaking gate you gotta come through. They done really, like she said, switched up everything, okay? It ain't like how it was when you left. And so all of these people are here waiting to get their little fix, okay? And the way they have it set up now, they just, put the money through the slot and give them the drug through the slot or whatever the case may be. And, they got this whole setup going. And so Kanan is just walking, and he looking like real confused, like, what I'm saying? What the heck is going on? What y'all done got into, since I've been gone? And Rock is like, standing waiting for him to come on and catch up to her so she could bring him in and show him the rest. She got the big smile on, like, waving her head for him to come back or whatever to where she's at. And so, Marvin and them is in the middle of talking, and then when they walk in, they like, look who came here from the, back from the beach. They was like, you was out there surfing or what? And he was like, damn well, black folks don't surf, don't, surf. He was like, if you can't swim, how the hell you gonna surf or whatever? And, he basically was saying there's no surfboards or anything like that. And so, here go, Marvin, why you gotta learn to swim to use a damn surfboard? And Rock is just like, shut up, Marvin. So, we move on along, and we get to the daggone prison, and we seeing that, Unique, of course, is coming through. He's still locked up there, but I doubt that he will be in there for long. And as he's coming through, whatever, he go talk to one of the, well, he ain't go talk to him, but as he was putting him in the cell, he's talking to the, CEO, and, basically letting them know, like, they ain't got nothing on me. Ain't no proof that I did anything. So he don't even look like he worried about anything at all, because he know he ain't do that shit, right? And, we have Juke in the house or whatever, and she's looking through some clothes and different stuff like that, looking in this box that, I guess still had like her letters and different things in there. And, you could just see, well, we already saw that with her going to the daggone grave and all of that she's still in mourning. She's still over here looking at, pictures and different stuff like that. And, reminiscing or whatever have you. And she looks at a picture of her with her mom when she's a baby. I guess she probably miss her too, because right now she ain't got a relationship with her father at all. And we know they supposed to be bringing her mom back in this season. So I guess that's like the little opening for that, to show that she's missing her or whatever. And while they in the apartment or whatever, Kanan is looking at them counting the money. He's just looking at all the different movements, everything that they doing, how they flowing, how they put the capsules in, certain spots. They putting the money in certain spots. Everybody got a different job that they doing. And so they basically was telling Rock how some neighbors downstairs are starting some mess or whatever the case may be, right? And the stairs be full of piss and stinking. And they was like, it's the projects. Of course people gonna be pissing in the stairs. What the hell you think, And then Rock was saying, get somebody to damn, mop up the stairs or whatever and make it smell fresh, and get the groceries taken care of and medications and different stuff like that. And so, she's telling Scrappy to take care of this stuff. And then she's like, Marvin's going to be calling the shots. And since Kanan is home or whatever, she going to have him set up some stuff. So Lou comes and he's like, sorry, I'm late. Of course, Lou don't want to be bothered with none of this. She was like, you've been late, you've been sloppy. And of course, she's starting to get on him, and he don't care. He don't want to be there. He want to be dealing with his damn, label. And so she's telling them that she's looking to expand. Of course, Rock always thinking about, some other ways to get her business popping. And she don't need no problems and no, extra stuff going on. She want to get Worrell on. She want to know that it ain't nothing going on if she ain't on top of it, and if she ain't in her business, and, her perimeter got to be clean. She don't need no 5 sneaking around and sniffing in the vicinities and all of that. Easy work is the best work. And so she's like, right now we on some chill shit, and she got some other thoughts for Worrell. She want to bring him in for a conversation, and she basically tells Scrap that he got to ease up on throwing them dice. She don't want him playing in no damn mama's card games no more. Leave that shit alone. They got to be low profile. So Scrap apparently has a bad gambling bug, right? This was passed down from his parents. His mom does the card games and his dad was a bookie. And the mom is having the card games every Wednesday night in the basement. They said Scrappy can't help but bet on something. One time he even bet, I think it was Marvin, about some damn french fries, and literally had him sit in the account, and every Friday that it was, bet $500 and won. So he was like, now that's a damn addiction, right? Everybody got something, and Scrappy's is, gambling. Keep that in mind. So, Juke is in here. She over here harmonizing, trying to make up a new song, probably to leave Nicole something else at the grave or whatever, who knows. And Kanan comes in, and they finally get to see each other and have their little, reunited moment. And so, of course, she having jokes on him, and he said, I heard you looking for a backup singer. She like, I don't know, man. I think, I don't need to hear your whack ass voice. And he was like, well, damn, I just got back. Like, you ain't even gonna give a brother a second, whatever. I should have stayed in Virginia Beach. So she's like, yo, come here, man. And of course, they hug, and she happy to see him. It's like that cousin, brother, sister bond, right? And I got a cousin of mine that I have that kind of relationship with, so I can relate, right? They was cute back then. When they get older, that's a different story now, okay? But, he said he needed to clear his head, see what else was out there. He was like, you realize sometimes it feels like, shit is just crazy and it's all there, and that's all that it is, right? So he was like, I'm not sure that is enough. And of course, he's just having second thoughts in general, right? Because he wanted to be the Mr. Big Man, and it didn't go the way he thought it was. So he was saying, I'm not sure if this shit is for me, you know what I mean? And she basically was like, word. But he was letting her know that Aunt Deb asked about her, they was all asking about her and want to see her one day or whatever. And she said, with everything that was going on, she didn't think she should go down there. But then again, with how stuff is here, maybe, she shouldn't have stayed there either. So, she was like, well, I'm not going to sit around and listen to your whiny ass all day, And like I said, they just having their jokes back and forth. So, we get to Detective Howard, or whatever the case may be, he looking around the house. He done straightened up, I guess probably looked through some of his damn bills or whatever. And, of course, he ends up sitting down and looking at this damn file of Kanan again, And he's like, and opening it up or whatever and reading it. So I'm like, yeah, Detective Howard, we know you remember. We know you remember, okay? The North remembers. Now, let me stop. So he just was sitting there looking at Kanan picture or whatever the case may be, right? And, we had Kanan and basically chilling at his mom's house. They all catching up. He talking back and forth with Marvin and Lou. They playing checkers or whatever, Rock in the kitchen cooking. And, they just having a little family time or whatever, right? And every time that Marvin tries to say something to, Juke, she ain't trying to hear it, okay? She is not trying to hear it. She still don't want nothing to do with him. They still not good, on good terms. And that's understandable because they went through, a lot of stuff. You had freaking Kanan giving, lessons about jellyfish and hornets and different stuff like that. And, they just was catching up and, really having a good time. And so every time he's trying to ask her how you been doing, we ain't get to talk lately. Oh, well, I seen you at the cookout 3 weeks ago. Yeah, you did, but I was hoping we could sit down and talk one day. She's like, nah, I'm busy. Then Rock catches on and she sees that, listen, Marvin, this ain't gonna work. And she cuts in and was like, come on, it's dinner time. And then she tells Kanan, we wasn't having dinners like this when you wasn't here, right? If you wasn't here, nothing wasn't going down. But now that you're back, you know, we're all together, and this is really what it's about. It's about family. That's the most important thing. She was like, we could argue, we could fight, we could go through our emotions, and of course everybody looking at everybody, right? Because we know Lou and Marvin been arguing, Lou and freaking Rock been arguing, Marvin and Juke been arguing, so she said no matter what, we could go through it, but at the end of the day, we blood, and what's more important than that, nothing can get in between us. Bottom line, we are family. And so then they all do a toast, to family, and she basically was saying family is all that matters, right? And so Marvin basically was like word, and Lou was like family, and they all do their cheers. So, you have Kanan come out, and he's talking with, no, I'm sorry, before that happened, you had freaking you had Famous and Jess talking outside. And he's like, yo, you ain't been on your business. You ain't doing nothing. I thought you was supposed to be my manager. I'm trying to give you a chance. She's like, listen, I can't make people do shit. She's giving him the update, telling him like, Lou said you got to write some more stuff. You got to lay off the damn weed. You got to, start coming with some new lyrics and stuff like that. She was like, ever since you started smoking that shit, instead of writing, you've been playing games. And he was like, yo, he got to give me some beats to write to. She was like, no, he wants you to write first and then do the beats, okay? He wants you to be an artist, something like a creator like Fife. So here go Famous talking about some, yo, fuck this. I already thought, I knew I should have got a real manager, but I figured I should go with you because you was getting that dick from Lou. I said, no, he didn't. So she was like, how you going to talk to your sister in that way? And he was like, man, listen, I figured if Lou was hitting it, that might help my career. But at the end of the day, I guess he ain't hitting it too good. So she was like, fuck you, Famous. And he went walking off. I said, yeah, he know his sister is trash and he knows she for the streets, as we see later on. So anyway, when freaking Marvin keeps trying to talk to damn, Juke, she ain't trying to hear him or whatever. And when she gets up and walks away, Kanan end up going, so things is going good with you and Juke, huh? Y'all really connecting. And he's like, yo, shut the hell up, and then Kanan goes outside and he sees that, she's out there smoking. And he like, yo, since when you start smoking cigarettes, and of course, Lou and Rock, like, we know how they do. They still freaking going back and forth, and she's mad about him, putting the label for the business, saying he can't do that, and she's asking him how much money he's been, making with the label, and of course, he couldn't say nothing. And so when Kanan went outside and he was seeing Juke out here smoking this daggone cigarette or whatever, and, he tells her, like, nobody's really talking about what happened. And she was like, of course they ain't gonna talk about it. Why would they, And he was like, all he wanted to do was, of course, protect his mom and make sure that she was gonna be okay. And she was like, look, Kanan, you should have never been put in that position. You should have never been asked to do anything like that in the first place. That's not your fault. Which she's absolutely 100% correct about, And we see, as they talking, of course, Famous done brung his behind over there. And he like, yo, this down south dude is back, about time or whatever. And, he having his different jokes. And as he walking up, we seeing that Detective Howard is in the cut, okay, in the car, freaking watching them the whole time. So Detective Howard memory ain't nothing wrong with that damn thing, okay. It is pristine and clean. He definitely know that Kanan is the one that damn shot him. The question is, what is he gonna do? Because now he don't need him for that surgery no more, because that's already taken care of too. So this is getting real interesting, okay. So, Kanan and Famous is joking back and forth. Like I said, he done walked up now. And when Famous comes, and he's saying, look at this country ass motherfucker and all of that, Detective Howard starts to drive away slow as Famous is walking up. So, when Kanan is getting up and giving Famous a pound and all of that and talking to him, they make contact. Like, Detective Howard is driving past slow, and Kanan is getting up and looking, and he looks directly in the car and sees that it's him. So at this point, he know that he know that he know. Okay. So then we had Rock and them, having dessert or whatever, and she's saying she want to make this like a franchise, and Marvin is basically like, oh, like McDonald's, and Lou was like, this damn fool always thinking about damn food, but she was like, no, actually he's right, that's exactly what I want to do. She was like, I'm thinking of the 40s, she was like, we could have different ships, we could get these bills, we could have lookouts, we could have tall buildings over by the 109, we could see the whole projects. She was like, we could be posted up there or whatever. She always thinking ahead. She said, we have the right units, the right building. We better protect it even better than Baisley. So she was like, that's the next thing we on. So she was like, I don't want Scrappy to feel bad or anything and feel like he got passed over. But she was like, I'm thinking about putting Warrell and the rest of Unique's crew over there. So he was like, yo, you really thinking that? He was like, Neek's people right now. He was like, yo, he tried to freaking we tried to go after him. He tried to kill me and all this different stuff. She was like, listen, all of that is over now, right? That's when we was in war. She was like, we got to be smart. We got to think about, ahead. We got to open up the 40s. She was like, this is the best thing, to do strategically or whatever, right? We wanted to be that when Unique get out of jail, he has nobody. She says, I know who he is and what he did, and I know what we did, and I know Unique too. And she was like, Nick is gonna come home pretty soon. I say, yeah, I'm sure he is. She was like, and I want him to come home to nothing, no people, no products, no possibilities, nada. Okay. And so she was like, we need shit and we got to be useful and we got to be smart. So she said, Marvin got Baisley's and Lou got the 40s. Lou over here talking about Marvin been doing good work at Baisley, so let him have the 40s too. Now, Marvin ain't got a problem with that. He basically like, but she was like, see, you always got to turn down work. You got to be funny. You got to piss me off. You got to make me mad about something. Why everything got to be a struggle with you, Lou? She already know he don't want to freaking be bothered, but she tells him, this is going to be your spot. He says he's not complaining. Marvin says he is complaining, right? And she was like, that's it. And the story is not up for debate or discussion. You're taking it. So now, they was having a little minute of peace. And of course, that minute is now gone because they get into an argument about this. Meanwhile, where's Scrappy? Scrappy is exactly what Rock told him not to be. He's sitting down in his damn mama's basement, gambling his behind off. She talking about my birthday is next week. So y'all gotta, make sure my baby win and this, that, and the third. And of course, here he go. Boom. Yeah. Give me that money. I won. As soon as he finished saying that, the damn cops come busting in. The damn cops come busting in, telling them, put their hands up. All right. Everybody put their hands up. And she over here talking about some, get off my baby, mama. They don't give a damn about what you saying. Okay. So Scrappy about to go down for gambling even after Rock just finished telling him don't gamble. Excuse me. So Detective Howard comes to the station, they like, what the hell you doing? You just felt like coming and walking through in the middle of the damn night or whatever. And he says, well, I know, I thought to myself, who else would be up in the middle of the night not doing shit? And then I thought of all of you. They coming out and seeing how, and then he notices that Scrappy is back there, that they brung him in or whatever. They seeing, he sees him and his mother through the glass. And he going back and forth with the damn guys or whatever, and then he comes over to Burke, and he's like, yo, that's my case or whatever that you working in, and she covers it up or whatever. And, he was like, oh, well, you ain't gonna say nothing to me or whatever. And she was like, well, I was waiting for you to stop measuring your dicks over there. And he was like, well, I don't need to measure mine. And she was like, yeah, it's only a centimeter. Ain't like it's gonna take long. So he told her, oh, you learning some new material. They going back and forth. So he was like, well, are you even supposed to be working my case? Do you have permission? And she talking about, look, I'm your partner. And I can't let that go or whatever the case may be. And he was like, I appreciate that. I really do. He was like, but make sure that you don't mess anything up and make stuff, worse for you or whatever the case may be. Make sure you do everything methodically, and damn near scientifically. And she was like, well, scientific shit ain't get us nowhere. Homicide have not found anything going by scientific stuff. Then the one suspect they have is about to walk right now. So he was like, He was like, I got you and all of that, but I'm just telling you, make sure you on the same page with 1PP. So she was like, understood, detective. He was like, all right, I'm tired. I'm going to try to go home. And she was like, yeah, you looking bad. So we know Detective Dan Burke ain't letting nothing up, honey. Okay, she going to keep going, and I could see her possibly getting killed this damn season. We have Unique coming through, and these guys was messing with one guy in his cell. He trying to get past, and the guy bumps into him, and he start calling him out his name and all that, and Unique start beating the hell out of him, all right? And I know that guy in the cell was happy. He was getting them up off of him, because he ended up fighting them one by one and was kicking all their damn asses. And one guy tried to come out and be like, you should have mind your damn business. And he was like, this, Unique said, business? This ain't business, this is pleasure, okay? He beating the hell out of him. And so the guards come and pulling him off of him, and the guy that, was originally getting his behind kicked, that Unique help, he was like, yo, man, they was jumping him. They started it. He was like, yeah, they started it and I finished it. So he was like, it's not his fault. So I was laughing because, like I said, I know he was happy that Unique came and end up, getting into it with him so he could take a breather from them beating on his ass. So, we have Rock meet up with Symphony. She's saying that Kanan and her just wanted to show him how grateful they was. Tell him thank you. You could see a little bond that formed between Kanan and Symphony. Damn. They, joking back and forth of who ate the most Cheetos and all of that kind of stuff. And he's saying it's good to see him and he's glad everything's okay. So when they come out, he was telling Rock, like, listen, I don't know all the details and I don't want to. He was like, but I'm scared for that boy. I like that boy a lot. I care about him and I care about you too. He says, he probably would be mad at me for even telling you this. But even though he didn't go into details while we was driving down there, he did tell me that he was scared, and he was basically like, I need you to take that into consideration, Rock. He was very scared, and then she just looking, when of course, like I said, he said, keep that between them, that he thought she should know or whatever the case may be. But of course, he wouldn't want him, to have told her about it. And so then Kanan comes out because he had went to the bathroom. He was saying how, nah, I can't even mess with it. My damn eyebrows done got burned off going in there after some white guy that blew it up or whatever. And as they're leaving, him and Kanan still are like yelling to each other, yo, I'ma see you, and you did this and I did that. And, he gives Rock a hug and all of that. So she could look and she could see the bond that they both have too. So now here come Marvin. He thinking he about to just come in and sign in. He like, oh, where's the list that I signed? And she like, oh, it's over there. So he go and he sign. And she telling him, I miss whatever. He like, oh, okay, nice. So he walking away. She like, excuse me, where you think you going? He said, oh, but I signed in, I'm straight. She said, oh, you signed in, and now you go sit your behind down with the rest of the group. And he was like, oh, no, it's probably a little misunderstanding. My lawyer told me as long as I sign in that I'm good. She said, oh, no, you thought you could leave? He said, yes, ma'am. She says, oh, no, I'll tell you what, your lawyer was wrong, friend. What you can do is you can sit down in one of those chairs, or I could contact the court and let them know the terms of your probation has been violated, and you can find another place to sit that's not so comfortable. Which one you want to do? Marvin went and sat his ass right down. Okay, Marvin, you thought you was being slick. So, we find out that damn Jessica, like I said, ain't about nothing. She for the damn streets, because they was all in the studio and Lou was telling them like, Famous ain't doing nothing. He was laying it out. He was telling her the same thing in front of Famous that he's already said to her. And he was like, I can't waste no more time. I don't have money like that to waste. And so, Famous getting offended, like, what losses? It sure as hell ain't me and all this stuff. He said, man, your damn freaking tape been collecting dust. You ain't been doing nothing. We need to see you doing work. So she was like, okay, no problem. She was like, y'all didn't put the marketing behind Famous. I'm the one that got him on the radio. There was no street team. There was no radio push and all of that. He was like, it's no good, it's nothing getting booked for him or whatever. So here come Mr. Producer guy. He agreeing, talking about some, oh yeah, you got a point. But then he tried to switch it when Lou looked at him and was like, but Lou got a point too, and we ain't got a whole lot of money left to be putting into stuff. Then Lou hurried up and was like, nah, we got the money. We just ain't gonna waste it on that or whatever, right? And the next thing you know, he's talking about, I want to introduce y'all to somebody. He like, this my girl Zisa. So they all looking. Of course, this is the girl he seen at the red light. He bring her in the studio. And Famous is like, who the fuck is Zisa? And he leaving with an attitude. So next thing you know, we see her in the bed with the guy. And I'm like, oh, that's why, he was going so hard. So I said, damn, well, your brother called you out right. He said you was sleeping with Marvin to be able to get whatever you could get from him. I'm sorry, Lou. To get whatever you could get from him, and now you sleeping with this dude because you think you're supposed to get something there. He's telling her some freaking mess about she could get a job as a manager if she go ahead to Cali, and she's like, oh, well, I should go ahead and do that now anyway. What's keeping me here? And he was like, what do you think Lou would do if he found out about us? And she was like, kill you. So be honest, I don't think Lou care. I think Lou don't even give a damn about you. He over you, and he already see through your bull crap any damn way, girl. Next. So then we also seen when Juke went to the studio, she sees Zisa up in that booth. Okay, look like she might get over Nicole sooner than we thought. We shall see. And he was like, yo, she bad, right? And Juke was just looking. And so I'm like, really, girl? Lou know you trash. He know you trash, girl. So then we had Rock. She come in and give this glass of milk to Kanan. She checking on him. She like, when you was smaller, I knew what you was thinking. I knew what you wanted to do, what you didn't want to do. Now that you getting older, it's a little harder. I really don't know which way you going with it. You got to talk to me. That's what I'm here for. And so he's just telling her, like, I'm your son. He was like, sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing with myself and what I'm thinking myself. She was like, talk to me, Kanan. It's okay. You could tell me anything. You know that, right? And so he basically was letting her know that, I don't want to disappoint you. And she was like, you can never disappoint me if you're honest with me, right? And she was like, just tell me what you're thinking. Let me in. And so he starts to tell her, like, I know I said I could do all of this. I thought I was cut out for it. I thought I could handle it. He was like, for what you, Uncle Lou, and Marvin and all of y'all do, but I'm starting to think I can't. He was like, I'm your son. I'm DEFCON's son, so it should be in the blood. And I just thought it was something that if both of y'all did it, I could do it, And so bottom line, he's second guessing that now. And of course, Kanan has it in his head that, maybe I'm not. And he's saying, he wanted to do something else. Maybe he was supposed to do something else, but he's like, at the end of the day, he wanted to protect her. He was like, but maybe I'm supposed to be somebody else. And so she was telling him, like, it's not your job to protect me or whatever, right? It's my job to protect you, and that's what I did. But Rock, you're contradicting yourself at the same time, because literally when you sent him to shoot damn freaking Howard, you like, I need you to step up. I need you to protect me. So you kind of put him in that position in the first place, and he just was letting everything out about how he wanted to, do this business and everything. And now he's thinking that he messed all of this up. He wasn't ready for it, especially after going and shooting Detective Howard and all of that, right? But in the midst of them talking, the phone rings, okay? And so we never got to see who was on the phone. He just was like, you better go get that. And she walks away. Next thing you know, we seeing Rock standing in the park, okay? And it's the same park, of course, where Howard got shot. So I'm like, girl, why would you be going back to the park where Howard got shot at, right? At the same time, we seeing that Unique already got out of jail. Now, I knew Unique was not going to be in jail for long, but honey, I wasn't expecting him to come out this fast in the same episode. They moving this shit quick now. And we seeing that Marvin is watching him outside the, jail when he comes out. And so in the meantime, Rock is walking back and forth in the park and she's smoking on this cigarette. And I'm like, Rock, yeah, what are you doing there, baby? Why are you there? What is happening? And baby, who come walking around that corner but Detective Howard? And him and Rock just looking at each other. So what y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? What Detective Howard coming here to say? Like, yeah, bitch, I know it was you. I'm coming. What y'all think he gonna say? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all thought about this episode. What you liked, what you didn't like. All that good stuff. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Okay. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're so inclined. Okay. Till next time. Tulu.